friends. Welcome to this week's episode on the Content Systems for Growth podcast. My name is Michelle, and I'm so happy to have you here. This week, we're going to explore the strategies that allowed me to actually stop dreading creating content for my business. While I love planning and organization, for some reason, when it came to creating my content, I just could not wrap my brain around it. It felt never ending and a waste of my time. I'm only guessing it's because it involved a lot of tears when my kids went to bed at night because I was trying to figure out what the heck to write, what the heck to post that would actually be helpful and that someone would want to read. While I'll save the mindset and belief talk for another day, I had to figure out a system. That's what it came down to. I had to figure out my very first system on how to create my content. I had to have that aha moment that my blog post is the core of all of my marketing. And the big secret to boosting and increasing productivity and content creation was implementing content systems. Before we dive into this week's episode, I want to give a shout out to a podcast listener, and it's a Lorena via Apple Podcast. You never know exactly what these abbreviations stand for, but I want to give you a thanks anyways. In this review, it was just what I needed. I was struggling with organization and time management. Having someone walk me through the steps of building a system to keep me on track is exactly what I needed. Thanks. I would love to be able to spotlight you in a review as well of my podcast. So go ahead, head over to Apple Podcast, and maybe your review will be the next one that I read. Let's dive into this week's topic. Hey, online business owner, welcome to the Content Systems for Growth with me, Michelle Dewey. Are you ready to let go of guilt, stress, and missed deadlines? Are you struggling to keep up with the demands of running a household, taking care of your family, and creating consistent organic content? Well, you're not alone. Juggling all the to-dos of being a mom and owning an online business can be challenging. But here's the good news. By implementing effective content systems and organization strategies, you can streamline your workflow, increase your productivity, and finally take control of your schedule. Each week, I'll explore content management systems and mindset hacks to help you rediscover your creativity, passion, and enjoyment in content creating. If you're ready to save time with systemized content marketing strategies and productivity tips, then go refill your coffee mug, pop in those earbuds, and let's tackle that pile of laundry. It's time to reclaim your time and energy while you take your business to the next level. Let's grow, friends. Do you have a lack of a content routine and planning? It's funny how planning can be one of my favorite things to do, but when it came to my content, I had all the resistance and excuses. I tell myself that I didn't have time, I'm busy, and I am still busy, but now I know what to do and when. I'm only guessing if you are searching for solutions to inconsistent content creation, you're beyond frustrated with yourself that you can't seem to figure out this one as well. If you only knew the secret to increase your productivity and content creation. First, friend, please give yourself some grace, mama. You're juggling a lot with running your busy family and keeping up with your growing online coaching business. So do you ever find yourself wondering how to make it simple and easy? There's been plenty of times in running my tiny team and business that I've dropped to my knees and prayed to the Lord, please help me figure this out and let it be simple and easy. I don't know if you found yourself in that same boat. I sat down to brainstorm, how can I make this simple and easy? And do you know what I did? I started with just a checklist. Nothing fancy, a checklist that I put into Teamwork, the very first project management system I started with as a virtual assistant. I did move away from Teamwork for only one reason. At the time, they didn't have the ability to be able to toggle between a list and a board view. I know, right? Of course, they have this ability now, plus many other views that you can toggle between. And Teamwork is a great task management software, I'll go ahead and put a link down in the show notes just in case you're curious and want to check it out. There is so much stress when you're inconsistent in publishing your content. I don't know if you'll agree with me on this. Let me ask, do systems, processes, and workflows make your head hurt and leave you confused as to what they actually are and how they will make content creation simple, easy, and better? Better yet, help you be consistent? I know what you're thinking. Michelle, did you miss that part about struggling to keep the wheels on the bus, let alone add another project to my plate to set up a project management system? If you're like so many of my online coaches I've worked with in the past, they fall into one of two buckets. I'm curious which one you fall into. One, they started with a project management software and stopped. The second bucket, they instantly felt overwhelmed at the mere mention of implementing anything techie. Which bucket did you fall into, Mama? If you fell into either one of these, don't worry. I encourage you to book a mini session with me. In 30 minutes, I would be so happy and privileged to help you pick the right project management software that you will not feel overwhelmed with. And I'll get you started with a template for your core content creation so you have a place to start. This is how I see it in my mind, the structure of a system that is. I'm only guessing you're familiar with an org chart, right? The system sits at the top of the organization, kind of like the CEO. The process is like the managers, and the workflow, well, those are like the little worker bees. Does that help explain it a little better? Does that let you actually visualize and be able to see what I mean by a content system in your brain? But what are content systems? If you struggle with productivity and procrastination as an online business owner, content systems might be your key to success. They are a productivity superpower because when they are set up correctly, you know exactly what to work on and when in your business. In a simple term, a content system is a straightforward and effective approach to managing and creating content for your business. It's all about finding the process that works for you, allowing you to streamline your content creation from start to finish. By implementing a content system, you can bring order to your content strategy, save you time, and achieve your business goals without feeling that overwhelm. And again, if you're like so many of my clients, a content system can be a game changer for your productivity because it provides you with a clear framework and guidelines to follow, making your content creation journey easier and more manageable. And I don't know about you, but anything that's easier and more manageable with all the things I have going on in my life just sounds like a breath of fresh air. With a content system in place, you can plan your content in advance, ensuring you're consistent and not just throwing something up at the last minute to check it off the list. Your content's the first impression of working with you, and you want it to either bring people to you or send them away. With the process, you can effectively produce and distribute your content, and you're going to maximize your limited resources when you do it, because a content system gives you the time to focus on what you do best, creating and coaching your ideal client. Creating valuable content that connects with your ideal client and drives your business forward must be simple and easy. And don't underestimate the value of the time invested in creating content systems, even for a one-person operation. These systems will make it easy for you to bring on a content VA in the future. And doesn't that sound like fun? Trust me, I know from firsthand experience, the more you build out beforehand, the less overwhelming it is when you bring on that first content virtual assistant. I can laugh about it now. I thought my systems were decent when I brought on my first virtual assistant, but let me just say, they were lacking in the workflow piece. That made it stressful for me and her both. She wasn't sure what to do, and I felt under the gun to keep her busy, and no one is productive in that atmosphere. When your workflows are built out really well, you do not lose track of the little things. And this week, I encourage you to set aside 30 minutes or one Pomodoro and identify your biggest content creation challenges that you have in your business right now. What would be the first process and workflow that you build out in your content system? Will it be your core content like your blog post? Maybe you really struggle to be consistent with your social media or your email newsletter. Pick the one that is the most challenging for you to be consistent with. That is a great place to start. I just want to give you a few final words before we wrap this up today. I want you to start simple and expand on your system. Pick one workflow that brings you the most pain and capture your process as you are doing it. One plugin that I love to use and I think makes it so simple and easy is the Chrome plugin called Tango. This plugin actually records you and does a screenshot as you are working through your process. I have used this with countless customers and have received so much positive feedback that it's like, yeah, I put it up and I just followed along click by click. That makes creating a workflow simple and easy, I promise. And best of all, they do have a free version that you can start out with and see if it actually would work for you. Do not dismiss the power of valuable content has on attracting the right people to your coaching business, allowing you to pour your heart into the value-packed content that will gain you a loyal following and grow your coaching business exponentially. A simple and easy content plan can propel you towards your business goals, help you stand out in the crowd, and best of all, increase your productivity in content creation. Thank you, friends, so much for listening. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Yay! Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you found this episode valuable and learned some actionable tips that you can implement in your business so that you can feel accomplished and less stressed. If you enjoyed this show, please take a quick minute to share this with your business bestie, subscribe, and leave a review. It helps me reach more business owners just like you. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover in future episodes, please reach out to me on my website. I've created a form just for you. Remember, with the right system and mindset, you can achieve the success your heart desires. Thank you for tuning in. I look forward to chatting with you next time. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful week. And don't forget, let's grow, friends.